Welcome back, mamas. Y'all, today we are going to talk about purpose. Purpose can sound overwhelming, right? It can sound like something that is a bit daunting when you think about figuring out what your purpose is. But I am going to talk about why you should not be intimidated by this, why it's easier than you think, and how to take a step towards figuring out your purpose, your calling today. And I'm so excited for you to receive this. So let's get to it. Do you wish you had control of your days, that you had a rhythm, but instead feel overwhelmed, scattered, and like there's never enough time? You're in the right place. I'm Danielle, a recovering workaholic, wife, and stay-at-home mom of 2 girls. I've learned how to reclaim my time and find purpose and freedom so I can be present with my kids and feel like myself again. Here, we embrace where we are, but we don't stay there. So if you're ready to trade the chaos for clarity, the guilt for grace, and the endless to-do list for aligned flow, grab the kiddos a snack and toss in that laundry because I know you're multitasking, and let's do this because your time, your purpose, and you matter. Okay, mamas, so prioritize with purpose, right? So last week we were talking all about priorities. If you did not listen, please go back and listen. But this week we're going to talk about purpose. And sometimes we can hear that and think, oh my goodness, that is a lot. Like I know last week I mentioned starting with the beginning or beginning with the end in mind, right? And how that can seem like a hard task or how that can seem like, something that just is too far away. Like we can't really begin with the end in mind because we can't even barely get through the day sometimes, right? But what I want to get you to think about today is about how purpose is something that's already within you. Your purpose is something that is already within you. And so how do we tap into that? How do we figure out what that is, that unique thing is for us, what our purpose is? And I am going to start with a quote, right? This quote is from Margaret Mead, and it says, "Always remember that you are absolutely unique, just like everybody else." You are absolutely unique, just like everyone else, right? I truly believe that you are unique. We all have a unique fingerprint, right? And you know that to be true because we can identify people by their unique fingerprint. It is unique. And when you think about that, how every single person has a different fingerprint, how much of a miracle is that, right? It is insanely a miracle. It is not something that we can really wrap our head around. But when you think about your purpose, I want you to know that that is also unique to you. That is also something that is God-given, right? It is something that you have received. It is your personality in a way. Your purpose is who you are, right? Were made on purpose intentionally for a purpose, right? You were made that way for a purpose. So you may have heard of Zig Ziglar, right? And he is someone who said this: every person has unique gifts, and those gifts give him or her the power and the opportunity to accomplish great things if he or she learns how to use those gifts and channel them in the right direction. So if you learn how to use your gifts and channel them in the right direction, you can accomplish great things, right? I truly believe that you were gifted. God made you in such a way that you have this purpose, right? This purpose is more like your personality, whereas your calling is like the path that you take or where God wants you to go, right? But your purpose, the way you were made was intentional. You were made with purpose on purpose. I said that before. I'm going to say it again, probably because I believe that that is something that we forget. I have said it before about how you are specifically the best mom for your child, right? Because of your unique gifts and because of your child's unique gifts and how those two play together, right? How those two marry together, how you are the perfect mother for your child. You are the perfect one to deal with them, right? That you are the perfect person to model for them the way that they should become, right? The human that you would like them to be, and also the human that they are, right? How they were made on purpose. I hope this is making sense because sometimes when we think about our purpose, we can get intimidated by it, thinking it's something that we have to figure out. Right. And I'm here to tell you that you really don't have to figure it out. You already know what your purpose is. Right. When we talk about figuring out what our priorities are, right, and figuring out what is important to us, this all comes from our unique gifts, right? Your gifts are going to be your gifts, and what you're good at is going to be because of your purpose, right? Because of who you are. Because of who you are good at certain things. And when you use those gifts on purpose, for your purpose, it is so powerful and so impactful. And when you start to think about it, though, in that way of pressure, right? In a way of, I have to figure out what my purpose is or what my calling is, or I'm going to miss it, or am I walking the wrong path, or am I doing the wrong thing? And what I would say to that is just, you can't do the wrong thing, right? If it is innately in you, if you are feeling called to something, that is likely God nudging you to explore that particular gift or to figure that out. And what we do with my coaching is we get still and we get clear on where you are right now, like the reality of what you are in right now. And that is what sometimes we have a hard time, I guess, looking at, right? Because we may think it's messy. We may think it's, a complete and total mess. But when you sit down and you think about it and you break it out into categories and you take a look at all the categories, you probably aren't where you want to be in many of the categories, right? I know when I started this journey, I was not where I wanted to be in many of the categories. But there are going to be some that you are doing well in, right? Some that you innately probably do well, more than others. You do well in this category versus this category, right? Like you might have an inclination, like relationships might be your thing, finances might be your thing, like whatever it is, you might be doing well. Your health, your body, taking care of your body and your health, that might be your thing. But you are struggling in other things, right? Or you're an amazing mom, but you're struggling in your relationship with your spouse, or vice versa, right? There's always going to be things that we can be better in. And what we do is we get really clear on what are the categories that we need to focus on right now. And then we get really clear on your strengths and on your weaknesses as well, and how we can use that to your advantage. And then we talk about your core values and what is important to you and how that may have changed since you had children, right? Because we are different people than when we had kids. At our core, we are probably the same, right? At our core, we are the same. And so those core values aren't necessarily going to be different completely, but what the top priorities are in those core values, like what you value the most at certain points in your life, is going to change based on your season of life. And that is okay. That is actually healthy. That is good. You cannot focus on all of the things at the same time, right? Like even when you're juggling, right? If you're juggling more than two balls, right? Then you don't have your hand on each ball at the same time, right? If you are juggling more than two, you can only have your hand on two at a time, right? And so that is kind of like life. We cannot have our hands in every single thing all of the time and have a good handle on every single area of our life and be focused on each and every area of our life. Yes, we don't want to completely drop the ball in those areas, but there are going to be times when we focus heavier on certain areas than others. And figuring out what that is so important to getting you to what I would say is your calling, right? Not necessarily your purpose, because again, your purpose, I believe, is within you. I believe you are your purpose, you already know what that is. And maybe just uncovering it is the work that we need to do, right? Is the work that you need to do. And I say we because I am offering that in my coaching, is that we will do this together, right? I will help you to figure that out. But this is something that you can do on your own, right? And a lot of this work is work that you will do on your own, because I can't, we walk through it together and I guide you essentially on this path so that you can be fulfilled. Because I'm going to read another quote here, and this one is from Deepak Chopra, and it says, "Everyone has a purpose in life, a unique gift or special talent to give to others. And when we blend this unique talent with service to others, we experience the ecstasy and exultation of our own spirit, which is the ultimate goal of all goals." Right? The ultimate goal of all goals is when we can use our unique gifts and our unique talents and our personality in service to others, right? Whether that be your family or your kids, or whether that be something more that you've been feeling called and pulled to, right? You might want something more for your life, just like I wanted something more for mine. And I am now feeling like I am walking in that purpose, in that calling, right? And so that is what I want for you. That is what I want to help you uncover. And sometimes when we begin with the end in mind, it sounds overwhelming, right? But if we look at that end, sometimes that can help us think about where we are right now and how to take the next best step forward. And that's what I also want to help you with in my coaching program, right? So I want to end here with a Bible quote, actually. This one is a Bible verse. It is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, that says, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so that we can do the good things he planned for us long ago." So that we can do the good things that he planned for us long ago. I believe that your purpose, your calling, it is written on your heart, right? You know it to be true, and you are called towards it. You are being pulled towards it. And so you are going to figure it out, right? It was implanted in your heart. And that this is something that I felt very strongly for a long time. And I was just trying to pull at all of the pieces. I was like trying to force it all together. I tend to be a control freak, right? And so I was trying to make it happen and just trying to, use my past experiences and things as a way to bring this fulfillment and bring this way I could help others. And I was just spinning my wheels, right? I was spinning my wheels. It wasn't until I got still and got clear and figured out all of these things and used God to help me and asked him where I should go next and what I should do, that I was able to figure it out for myself. And I was able to then finally feel fulfilled and feel joyful and feel happy and feel, even though like I wasn't where I wanted to be, and even though I wasn't at that end destination, I was and am still fulfilled in the journey. Right? I am fulfilled in my daily, and I now know that I am walking with purpose and I am walking in my truth, right? And your truth is going to be different than everyone else's. You were uniquely made, and that is what I want for you, is to help you uncover what that is for you and what that path looks like for you. And that is what we do in my coaching program. So please go to prioritizewithpurpose.com, prioritizewithpurpose.com/coaching, and sign up for a prioritization clarity call with me, where I will start this process with you and start walking you through the steps to help you uncover all of these things in your life so that you can feel fulfilled. I want that for you. I do not want you to feel like you are being pulled, like you are scattered, like you are just so busy and overwhelmed all of the time. You can't even think about beginning with the end in mind because you can't even see the end, right? You're like, I would so much love to see the end, but I can't see that far. I can't barely see out of the day, right? And so I would love to help you walk through this. And if you have any questions, you can also go to the page, prioritizewithpurpose.com, and sign up for a discovery call to find out if this is a good fit for you, right? I will answer your questions. It will be with me. And then we will get started on the path if that's the path that you choose, right? And even if you do not want to sign up for a prioritization clarity call, please start to think about what it is in you, right? Like, how is your personality a clue? How are the things that you are good at, the things that are innately given to you, a clue into what God has designed you to do, right? How is that a clue? Okay, that's the question that I want to leave you with on this day. So until Thursday, y'all, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, Mama. If so, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and then hit share and send this to a mom who needs this in her day. I'll meet you right here on Thursday. Keep smiling, y'all.